morning, everyone. It's Mary Jo Snyder. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and you are joining me live at MJ Shady Inkers Facebook group. And I'm going to share this over to my page, and then we'll get started. I got some announcements, of course, and some team swaps to share with you. We all used our favorite colors, our favorite Stampin' Up! Color for our team swap, those that participated, and then I'm gonna kind of share with you. Hi, Shayla. I'm going to share with you my creative process. Someone had asked me that in the past. I believe it was Karen Gable. So I'm going to kind of walk you through my thought process for the most part. Sometimes that switches. Hi, Lori. But sometimes that switches around a little bit depending on the product that I'm using. But I want to touch base with everyone about my creative process so that you know where my thoughts are when I am creating projects and getting inspired elsewhere, or by just the product itself. So bear with me while I share this over to my page, and then we'll get started. I hope everybody is having a great weekend. We finally went to get pumpkins yesterday. I always want to go to a pumpkin patch, and it seems time gets away from me. Hi, Jane. So we don't seem to get to do that. So we just went to a local market. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Laura. We went to a local market in Penn, just a little kind of a fruit stand in a sense, and we purchased pumpkins from there. So, but we have them, so now we can carve them like we do every year. So it's just a matter of taking the time to do that as well. So hi, Ray. So I'm gonna hope that I'm muted here. Okay, I'm going to really hope that I can see comments on my computer, because I really prefer to do that now so that I can sit and craft with all of you. So I guess I'm going to turn the phone down to my desk area and share some fun stuff with you. So here we go. All right, I'm going to cover up the camera lens, flip it around, and hopefully I got you all in a good position to see the area here. We'll see. Hopefully I don't have you pointed up to the ceiling. Let's see what we got going on. Looks good so far. I'm going to just turn it a little. I'm zoomed in more than I want to be, but that's okay. And I'm still facing the right direction. Perfect. Okay, today's host code, NK4VZ6RU. Use this host code to purchase $35 or more in my online store during this week from today until Friday the 30th, and you will get the make and takes from this fun class that I'm sharing with you today. So it might be, yeah, you'll need to get the products because you'll need to finish them off with the coordinating stamps. So maybe, I mean, you could probably find something else that will work with the ingredients that I send you, because I cannot send stamped images due to Stampin' Up! Policy. So there's your opportunity to get the make and takes for this week. The host code is also above in the description of this video. Another thing you want to remember, if you are purchasing $150 or more in my online store, do not use the host code. I will send you the make and takes automatically based on your larger order, because I want you to get the host rewards if you qualify with a larger order. So keep that in mind. Okay, this is the Designer Series paper sale. This sale ends on October 31st. Great way to build up that $35 order is to get the discounted paper. And there are some Christmas designs, winter designs in here. There's all sorts of wonderful Designer Series papers that you can get in the sale, and they're 15% off. A really good one is that In Good Taste that has all those realistic wood grain and kind of like tile and all these beautiful things. It's a larger pack of paper, and that you save, it's originally $21, but you reduced at $17.85. So take advantage of this paper sale. It's really a good opportunity to stock up on your Designer Series paper. We all know that we get those packs of paper and we like to hoard them. This gives you the opportunity to actually use them because they're at a reduced price. So another benefit of spending $35 in my online store is you get the tutorial for the month, which is the month of October, and these are all fall related Halloween, Thanksgiving, fall. You can incorporate any sentiments you choose or any product you choose just with the instructions. 16 designs, full instructions, and again, that's a PDF tutorial that gets shipped to you via email for purchasing during the month of October, and that goes to any qualifying order of $35 or more. And here we are, the Curvy Celebrations product bundle. And I'm going to show you it up close and personal, but this flyer, I'm not sure if I shared it yet on my group, but I will be sharing it so you can get a closer look. And again, that is available to customers starting, where did I just put it? November 3rd through January 4th. Just so you know, this is a carryover product bundle with the exception of the designer series paper because that is Christmas themed, but you are going to find these products also in the upcoming months into the new year. Okay, so all those amazing announcements, and always don't forget about the starter kit. If you know you want the starter kit or you have a huge wish list, then definitely take advantage of purchasing the starter kit for $99. And if you want more information, just touch base with me on that. All right, let's get into our team swaps. I think we had 6 participants this month. This one is Mary Dunham. And Mary, I would like to thank you very much because I now have this product suite in my cart. When I saw this reindeer on this card, I absolutely fell in love with it. It is so detailed. I just love it. So it's in my cart and on my list of things to purchase, along with some of that designer series paper that's on sale. So I am loving this card. It's so beautiful. You use a variation of reds in here to accent your favorite color, which is red. So I love it. Very nice. Nice little fun fold. Cute. Okay. There's that one. This one is from Cheryl. Cheryl used that goat. And I can't remember the name of that that stamp set, but it's cute. I got you a cake, but I ate it, and that's a fun fold little easel card. Very cute, and a place to send the to write your sentiment or your greeting. My notes that are inside. I just love when they include notes in my swaps. All right, well, let's see another one. This one was created by Lori, and great use of the Curvy Celebration product suite, as well as elements from the Paper Pumpkin kit, which I absolutely love that she incorporated this. And it's a different fold. It's actually the 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5.5, but she's folding it this way rather than this way, which I think is awesome. So really cute. Love the use of the Curvy Celebration. And you're going to hear me say Curvy Keepsake, and I'm not sure why that comes out of my mouth. It has nothing to do with that, but it's kind of funny. All right, this one is from, I'm missing somebody's. I think Dana's is out in my backpack, which is in the other room. So I probably should go get it. But I don't know where my backpack is. So I will share that in a photo later. My apologies that I don't have them all right here. Dana, I work with Dana, so I had hers in my work bag. This one is from Dawn, and Dawn incorporated a cute little design using the foil accents. This ribbon is not a Stampin' Up! Ribbon, but it ties in so nicely. So you can incorporate Stampin' Up! Product with product that you have at home. Just keep that in mind. I just think that ribbon is beautiful and accents what she decided to use here perfectly. This designer series paper is actually from the Tool Tidings, and I think that is on sale. The snowflake embossing folder, and of course Merry Christmas comes from one of those. I think it's the, what stamp set I was using? Let me see. Is it the stamp set? I think it's from the Tag Buffet stamp set. I think I was just using that last night. So, and a cute little note inside, and a place for you to write your greeting with the added snowflakes. She incorporated several products here. Absolutely love the kind of like a quilt pinwheel pattern in a sense. I'm sure there's a technical name for that. For my quilters out there, they can elaborate. Hi, Karen. Bonnie, hello. Trying to scroll through. I know I'm missing some people's names. Rosalind, thank you for being here. Bonnie, Thank you guys so much for being here. Did you ask the length of time between being a demonstrator? No, Ray, you can join. You can rejoin now. So I think it is a certain amount of months that you have to wait if you want to sign up under someone else. But I think you've met that threshold if you chose to sign up under somebody else. Of course, I hope it's somebody on our team. Reach out to me. I'll text you or message you after this. But yes, you can rejoin. If we'll get into that, I'll message you after I'm through with the video. And this was my card. My favorite color is purple, so I don't know how many purples Stampin' Up! Has for me to choose from. But this is the Highland Heather. And I used the iris, Inspiring Iris, because irises are my favorite flower. And of course the sentiment is from that as well. And it's just a little layering and that ornate garden embossing folder, some pearls, and that very delicate, easy to tie in bows polka dot ribbon. So there's mine. And I feel so bad that I don't have Dana's project in here. And I would go grab my bag, but I don't even want to. I'm so upset. If any of you have Dana's card that participated in the swap, can you please put a photo in the comments so that others can see it? I know that I have it in my bag. I just feel awful that I don't have it in front of me. That's part of me being unorganized, unfortunately. Okay, so my creative process. This is the designer series paper that is in the paper pack. And so it's this, which is all cut apart at this point. It's the classic Christmas designer series paper. And there are 4 sheets, double-sided, of cherry cobbler. So you're going to find that there are 12 designs, 4 designs in each color. 8 designs, because you have the back and front. So you have 8 different designs in 3 different colors. Shoo, that was a lot to figure out, right? So we have cherry cobbler, we have shaded spruce, and I'll show you the back designs, and you have Sahara sand. So with that, knowing the coordinating colors, I go right to my cupboards and I pull out, actually let me show you the rest of the product suite. You have this cute, quite curvy with the birds and the different occasions, not just for Christmas, because the other set is for Christmas. So you have Curvy Christmas, and these are all photopolymer stamps. So you know what you're doing when you're stamping. You can see where you're stamping. And of course the curvy dies, and that's those. And you can cut out the birds, some of the images here. Excuse me, like this one cuts out these leaves. These cut out this. We have some, this one cuts out this little stamp here. And of course you have some borders, which are amazing. Once you get the hang of it, which I'm going to share some tips with that, you will fall in love. Once I got the hang of using the dies, I definitely started liking what I was seeing and working easier with it, okay? So what I do, I have my designer series paper, and I know the coordinating colors are cherry cobbler, shaded spruce, and Sahara sand. So the first thing I do in my creative process is grab all of the cardstock that coordinates. Okay, so I have these 3 colors, and of course there's Whisper White in there as well. So I want thick Whisper White in case I want to use thick Whisper White as a card base. And I have the regular Whisper White in case I want to layer in between different elements of my projects. So I have all of these pulled out of my cabinet and have them handy so that I know where they are and can use them. Another thing I do is, I don't know how all of you handle when you get your cardstock sometimes, and a lot of this is left over from classes, but I like to have cardstock that is already pre-cut. So I will cut down white, Whisper White, regular Whisper White into different sizes. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and this one is 5 by 3 3/4, because I know that I like to layer with Whisper White if that is the accenting color in the designer series paper, especially if I'm going to be stamping on it as well. So I want different sizes of the Whisper White layers. I also have in my hands some leftover layers from a class. Those of you that obviously are not demonstrators and are customers and people who love Stampin' Up! In their product, I will love it, chop it in a sense, just like Kylie teaches all of us to love it, chop it. I'm reading comments. They're learning. Yes, there is a learning curve, Bonnie, with these dies, and I did get a little frustrated and was not very passionate about this suite when I first ordered it. But I'm going to share some of those tips that will hopefully enlighten everybody and make it less frustrating. It's definitely a suite. You can do simple stamping, or you can incorporate lots of layers. It's definitely one for layering, for the casual, probably for the avid stamper would really, really love this product suite for sure. So anyway, I have layers of the shaded spruce. I also have card bases that I pre-cut, and I store them in my cabinet so that I can just pull card bases that are already pre-cut, and I cut them like the 4 1/4 by 11, score at 5 1/2, or I cut them 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and score at 4 1/4. Those are my standard go-to sizes if I'm not doing a fancy fold. So I've already pre-cut, and I'm going to walk you through how to do a couple sheets. I've pre-cut like various sizes. Here's another, just a basic layer. So I have all these card bases that I have to work with. So I can just grab and go in a sense. This is great also if you're going to like a weekend retreat and you have things pre-cut, so then you can just create. You don't have to worry about taking every single pack of paper that you own. You just take things that coordinate with your products that you decide to use. So we have all of those. And what I'm going to show you also, I absolutely loved incorporating gold foil into my projects that I've created so far. So I have a piece of gold foil that is probably 6 by 12. If not, it's a little shorter because I cut it already. And I'm going to show you how to come in and just make your life easier when you're cutting your card bases. So I'm going to come in with my scoring tool because this is my go-to favorite. And I am going to score a full sheet of cardstock. So this is my shaded spruce, and I know that I'm going to want these to be 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. So I'm just going to put that 8 1/2 side to the top, and I'm going to score the entire sheet at 4 1/4. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Now the cherry cobbler, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to want it to be 11 by 4 1/4, so that 11 side goes to the top, and I'm going to score it because a fold for a 4 1/4 and 11 is at 5 1/2. So I'm going to score that entire sheet at 5 1/2. Now, I'm going to keep some solid sheets, which I have pulled out, of cherry cobbler and shaded spruce, so that if I need layers, I'm going to keep those aside so that I can cut layers to go with my projects. Then I come in, now I know that this is scored at 5 1/2, so these are going to be 4 1/4 by 11. And now I have 2 card bases just by scoring once and cutting once. Save yourself that time and score before you cut, especially if you know you're just going to use it as a card base. It's also helpful if you know what you're doing with treat holders. So this one is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I just cut that down in at 5 1/2. So now I have 2 pieces there. Okay, whew, I'm going to take a drink because I'm talking a lot. So now I have all these awesome elements, cardstock that coordinates with my designer series paper. But the next thought is, well, what about embellishments? So find some coordinating embellishments. I know I'm going to use gold foil. So this is shaded spruce. There are not a lot of that I have on hand of cherry cobbler, shaded spruce type of ribbons. So I chose the Wonder of the Season because I had it on hand. Combo ribbon pack, and both of these will work with the projects that I am going to be doing today. So there's my ribbon. I know that I want coordinating ink and potentially might be doing some coloring because there are lined images in the product, in the stamp sets. So I always want, if I think I'm going to be using blends, then I want to keep my Memento Tuxedo Black ink handy. So I'm going to have that. I'm going to bring in the coordinating colors with the cardstock of shaded spruce and cherry cobbler. So we have our inks. I also want to share with you the size of some of these stamps. Some of these stamps are very long and large. So if you don't have the largest block, the background stamp block, my recommendation is to grab yourself your Stamparatus and have it in your work area. And if you don't have a Stamparatus, then of course the largest block will work for some of these background stamps or these longer images. Now, of course, this is a lined image as I was talking, so I could stamp that in Memento Black and color that in with my blends. So there's that. Again, the trees in this set and the stars are very long, so you would want to also have your Stamparatus for that as well. So just some tips to have, you know, with my creative process. That's how I figure out what I need in my work area when my work area is clean, and what I want to work with. So, and have a variety of things, because you never know, as long as they coordinate, right? This is like a pretty much used up Gilded Gems little pack of gems. I'm going to pull those in. This is a leftover piece of paper or ribbon that is from the Posy. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. It's a kit. And I can incorporate part of kit elements because they're current product. I like to use current product when I'm creating because I want you to be able to purchase it. If you like it, you're able to get your hands on it. So there's a little piece of ribbon left over from that, if someone can remember the name, that awesome Posy kit. I have some holiday rhinestones, and I believe there is some shaded spruce in here, and those potentially look like cherry cobbler. So I have some colors there that I can incorporate. Definitely want to have my pearls because I can always color those with my blends. How about some gold glitter enamel dots? I brought in all the gold. There's another set of those Gilded Gems. And then I thought, well, I'm using white, so why not incorporate not necessarily the petal pink, but the clear, elegant, faceted gems as well as the white ones. So I have plenty of embellishments to work with. And of course, if I wanted to incorporate different ribbons, you could grab some that are whisper white, like the polka dot ribbon and stuff like that. So that, so far, is how I plan my crafting. The next thing, sometimes I search for ideas. Like if I'm stumped with, oh my gosh, how am I going to work this? I have no clue how to use these dies. The stamps are really confusing to me. How do you make sure that the layout is right to fit a certain stamp? Because you can see each of these stamps have a different curve. They're all differently curved, okay? So you definitely can search on Pinterest, Google, go to YouTube, and just type in the stamp set, and you will find a bunch of demonstrators or whoever that may have used this product and come up with designs. I've also searched ideas like curvy cards, you know, and it may not be Stampin' Up! Product, but you can get some ideas from other locations, even if they're not Stampin' Up! Generated designs. It just helps you kind of with your creative flow. It helps you get inspired and motivated to try and incorporate something you may have seen, even if it's just a smidge of somebody's project. Like you liked the way that curve went, or you liked the embellishment they used, or where they put the sentiment, or whatever the case is. You can get so much inspiration from searching out there. Definitely watch your favorite demonstrators. I'm hoping I'm one of your favorites, but anyway, I get inspired by so many other demonstrators, and I actually watched Rachel Tessman use these dies because I was so agonized by I was intimidated by them, but then finally I'm starting to get the hang of it, and I need to look at the die before I set it on my paper so I know what I'm looking for and what I want, what the end result is that I want. And watch Stampin' Up! Videos. You can go to YouTube, you can go to the Stampin' Up! Website. There are enormous Pinterest. Stampin' Up! Has ideas out there everywhere, and if you just look for Stampin' Up! Generated videos just from the company themselves, you will find tutorials, and it might be 1 or 2 minute video, but it's totally helpful sometimes to watch those and find out, oh well, how did they just do that? Pause it and rewind it, and whatever the case is, so that you can learn to use the product that you are inspired by. Lately, I have been doing my best to use products I'm passionate about. It helps my inspiration. If I absolutely love a product, then I know that I'm going to go crazy over making designs with it. That's why I go crazy over Paper Pumpkin. Paper Pumpkin, which I still haven't opened my box. I think I took the tissue paper out to see if there was a flyer in for next month so I could share that with you, but I didn't even crack open the cellophane to work with that. And I have 2 people I need to send cards to, because the concept of Paper Pumpkin this month from October is to have pen pals from all over the world to share your creativity with. So you can mail out cards to your pen pals if you choose to. So I'm going to show you a few samples. I am not recreating any of these because we're going to start from scratch, because we have the entire creative process and elements that we can incorporate by making, you know, a couple of cards today. So this was one I shared with you guys last week, and it's just a matter of doing the curves and adding just layers, stamping, and masking that one long tree stamp. Simple as that. And that, I would say, is probably like simple stamping, maybe a little bit of a casual stamper because you're incorporating the dies and stuff like that. This one, I actually started this project and then threw it to the side because I'm like, I do not know how to finish this off. I had the white background, or the cardstock, the thick whisper white cardstock. I had this element with all these leftover pieces that it cut out. Isn't that gorgeous? And then I'm like, okay, now what? Because when you flip this over, that foil was showing. So I added another piece of cardstock inside, and now I have a place to write my sentiment or my greeting. I finished it off, and you can see I tried to cover up a mistake, but then I liked the look of it. I took my stamp, and it didn't stamp a section over here. So I decided to lay my stamp back on there before re-inking it, and it created a lighter shaded area of that pine branch. So I mimicked it over here because I thought it looked adorable. So even a mistake, you can do amazing things with. So, and then I just incorporated, because there was a space here, I incorporated those gold leaves that cut out right here from this little vine, and of course those, oh, I don't have them out with my, these are, so I stamped in real red, not necessarily because I can use real red because I'm not using cherry cobbler anywhere here. So I incorporated those wonderful gems from the Wonder of the Season product suite. So, and they kind of got like a frosted glittery hue to them. So there's that card. And then I did this one last night, which took me forever because it incorporated coloring. But what's funny, I initially wasn't going to put those gold leaves there, but I was struggling, and you can see in certain spots I kind of colored outside the line, and I tried to use my color lifter, and I think I made it worse. But I just kept going, and I thought, you know what? I incorporated the birds, colored those with my blends, used a little bit of pumpkin pie on their belly, and some crumb cake and stuff like that to blend that color out. And I incorporated the gold, not in all of these spots, but like I made a oops there, I made a oops there, I made a oops there, and I covered them. And then I thought, you know what, that looks really good. So I just added more leaves because I thought it looked pretty. And then I used the gold foil underneath that matte and just added a hint of this color because I cut this a little bit shorter than what, I think 1/4 of an inch shorter than your normal card base. So those are those 3 projects, but that is like totally, like you didn't even have to use the dies except for the birds on this, so you didn't have to get intimidated with those curvy accents. So the first thing I want to share with you, I'm going to come in with a couple pieces of paper, and we're just going to I'm going to use the polka dot in the Sahara Sand. How about the Christmas trees in the Shaded Spruce? And why not, since we're doing Christmas trees, is that too busy? Let's do that in Cherry Cobbler. And we're going to use all 3 of these in the first card. Now what I want to show you is, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to randomly just cut 2-inch strips. Because I don't, actually I'm going to make this one a little longer. I'll make the green one a little longer. So this one I'll cut in a 3-inch, 3x6. Because I want to share with you how easy this is going to be so you're not going crazy. So 3 inches of the trees, and we're going to make a 5 8.5 by 8 by 4.5 card. Does that make sense? Or 4 1/4. We're going to use this kind of base. Okay. All right. And so it's 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. I know that I'm going to want to incorporate the other two pieces, so I'm going to grab a 2-inch strip, 2-inch by 6 of both of these. And I'm only going to make 2 cards today because I really wanted to touch with you on that creative process. I'm going to grab all 3 of these, and believe it or not, our awesome paper trimmer, or I'm sorry, stamp cut and emboss machine, is going to cut right through all 3 of these because that's how wonderful it is. Now, I know that I want these papers to stay where I need them to. And now that I have everything jumbled up here, I can't forget I have Prize Patrol for someone too. They're going to be a part of our class, October class. I see some of you have commented that you have received your October class in the mail. Morning, Rose. Hi, Melissa. Thank you, everyone that's joining. I'm sorry I'm not looking to my right to see all these comments here. So glad you're taking part. Hi, Barb. I'm so glad you're taking part in my Sunday morning. And Sally, hi everyone. Okay, so I want to use my magnetic platform, and I'm going to layer all of these. Every single one of these is layered together, edge to edge, okay? And of course, this one is longer. I want to put this on here on my magnetic platform without it going crazy too much, so make sure that it stays where you want it. If you need to use a Post-it note, use a Post-it note. All right, I keep moving my hand, so I'll come back and fix it after I get my die. I'm going to use, maybe. All right, so we have this die. It's really, really intricate with all these little pieces. And this, where you see this lip right here, that's where it's going to cut, as well as all of these details. So I want to make sure the cut and the details are facing the way I want them. So if I want the scroll part here to be on the upper portion of my cardstock or my designer series paper, then I want to make sure that this cut edge is going to go at the bottom like so. So I want my curve to go this way. Keep that in mind, that you're always making sure that where you're cutting is where you want to cut, because otherwise you are going to be very, very upset with yourself. Now these dies are 6 inches, so it works perfect on this designer series paper. You might find that in the end, when you're all done cutting your layers, that you may need to trim them. Of course, you're going to need to trim the sides, but you may need to trim them from the top as well, depending on how your layout of your card is going to be. So just feed that through, and you want to go through a couple times because you have those intricate pieces. So our machine is awesome. It will cut through these 3 pieces of paper. There's going to be a loud noise, but I want to make sure everything is cutting through because it's so detailed. Sorry, I hit my camera. I'm going to go through one more time, and then I'm going to pull this out of here. It's probably not necessary to go 3 times, but I want to be certain that it cut through all of them. So that is something you can use in another project. So all these curvy elements that come out of this paper, you can keep for different projects if you so choose. And now you're going to find, let me get this out of the way, I have successfully, hopefully, cut all 3 of these with that decorative edge. Okay? And then come in here, and you can grab your tool that helps you get all these pieces out, or you're going to find it's really easy. You can take your pick tool or your brush, your die brush. There's an attachment for your take your pick tool that you can use to get all those pieces out. And if you lay it up against a plain piece of paper, you're going to see it's probably not the right choice. Let me grab a piece of white. You're going to see the detail, okay? Maybe this wasn't the best design to use with busy paper, but you get the gist of how you're going to make that work for you, okay? Now, how do I want to put these all together? First, I want to get this mess out of the way, all the confetti pieces. Has anyone ever used those in a shaker card? All those little elements that come out of your die cuts. It's another use of recycling in a sense. We're going to set that die aside. I need to clean it. So you can come in and you can now layer these. And that looks pretty good there. Do I want to, maybe it's too busy. Maybe I don't want to use all of these colors, but I'm going to keep going because you're going to see those layered together, right? So, but what if you don't want to use all of them? Like I decide maybe, oh, okay, this one is too busy. I'm going to leave that aside and that's fine. And then that will be okay. Or you can do this. You can flip it on your cardstock, have this as the base, right? You're going to trim this, and then you're going to come in and you can trim this end, and you see how perfect those curves are now? In a sense, you can line these up and trim them. Seems like you're wasting some cardstock, and you will, or some designer series paper, and that will happen. But let me grab a bigger piece of the Whisper White that I already have here, and let's layer these together, just like I just showed you. So just come in with your seal. I really am just trying to help you learn how amazing these products are. And I want more of a curve showing here. So, and yes, I'm laying my paper down before stamping, which for some may be a challenge. So that, maybe we want to come in. So it looks like I should have moved this over a little bit more. Should have put the green on first, but that's okay. Come in, and I'm just going to layer this green on there so it matches. Oh, I totally did the wrong side. Have your silicone mat handy so that you can line, because especially if you're trying to line paper up. I'm just going to pull this off here without ruining it, hopefully, and try and line that up a little bit better. Like that is more lined up than it was previous. So then come in here, add a little more adhesive. Hopefully you guys are seeing me okay. And then I can come in with my paper trimmer or my scissors, and I already have adhesive on there, so be cautious of that because you're going to get adhesive on whatever you're using to trim these. So there's those, and you can save them. And there's that one. So now you have these layers. I would recommend, I'm not really sure I'm feeling the designer series paper on this. I got something right there. Because I think that it's too busy for the scroll image, but you can certainly use regular cardstock. And since I'm crafting on the fly, we're just going to keep on going, but I need to get that piece out of there. You may want to come in to reinforce the layered edges right here with your Tombow glue right there. But I'm going to leave that right now since I didn't pay mind to that. I am going to layer this probably on, let's see. So now we have our choices. We know we have, we grab 2 different kinds of paper here. We'll see which one looks better. I think I'm going to stick with the shaded spruce. All right, so now I know I want to stamp a sentiment, and since I'm using Christmas trees, I want to use the Curvy Christmas stamp set. And let's see what we got going on. So we can use this piece and the Merry Christmas sentiment. Why not? So we'll come in with our, see, this is going to curve in a certain way. You want to make sure you're following the curves of your paper. I'm a little shaky. Not sure why. And so I'm going to stamp in shaded spruce. And I want it to follow the curves of my paper. And remember, these are photopolymer stamps, so always use your piercing mat for when you're first using your yeah, you know what I'm saying, your stamps. Oh, hi Marva. Other side of the green looked cool when you were trimming. Yes, this is one of my favorites, the little checkered. That would have looked great there as well. If you didn't want to do a Christmas themed card, you can totally use other sentiments. I think that's a good idea as well. There's some versatility in the paper. I don't think it's all Christmas. I think they're just saying Christmas because it's the colors. So I'm going to come in here with my Merry Christmas stamp, and I'm just going to stamp that right here in Cherry Cobbler. So knowing that, I'm going to grab some really pretty rhinestones, and let's come in with the holiday rhinestones. Variations of colors. Move our stamps, we're not making a mess of our project. And I'm going to use these, as well as I'm going to adhere this to the top of my card. Do I want some ribbon? Maybe. Or do I want to just leave it plain and not get too crazy with the design? Let's just go with adhering this. Once you get your adhesive started. You can adhere this to your card front. So far we're doing hashtag simple stamping maybe, not with a die image, but and then why not add some, and I know this is a pine branch, but why not add a little bit of accented color by using a few of these holiday rhinestones in certain spots. And I'm gonna go outside the box and use 4. Usually I use an odd number, but it just looks good with 4 of them there. So there's your first card, and of course you can layer Whisper White on the inside, which we have some cut already once you find them. And you can either add another sentiment to the inside of your card, or you can just line it with Whisper White since this is a dark card base, so that you have a place to write your greeting. And there you go. There's a card that you just created using that awesome curvy area. So I already went in and cut up some other pieces, but I don't know where they are at the moment. So let's just keep going. Let's grab another. I want to share with you using the Stamparatus. I'm going to come in here with my simple chamois, Stampin' Chamois, whatever you call them, and clean off these stamps. This is great to have. Just put some warm water on it to soften it up. It's great to use when you are using the Stamparatus because it's easier to clean your stamps. And I just keep that in one of these. Of course, when it's not in use and it's wet, make sure you let it air dry before closing it in a container or it will mold. You can wash those in with your towels and your laundry, and they don't get ruined by any means. So, all right, take a sip of coffee. Thank you, Mary. Thanks, Bonnie. Yes, the red rhinestones would be perfect for the berries on the branch, pine tree branch. It would look beautiful there, those red rhinestones. I didn't pull those in though, so I didn't want to grab anything I didn't already share with you. All right, so let's come in with our Stamparatus. And I'm going to do some stars because I haven't used those yet. And if nobody's aware of what the Stamparatus is, I'm going to grab it so you can see it. And that is not it. Oh, silly me. Hang on. I have to get up from my chair. All right. Stamparatus is this nifty machine right here that has these panels on it. So this piece acts as your stamp block, okay? There are 2 pieces to it. So there's 2 doors, but when you store it, you have to store with 1 door off of it so it's not ruining itself in a sense. And then you have another one. You have magnets that come with it, and I always put washi tape over my magnets because if they collide with one another, they will shatter, and this will keep it contained if it shatters. I had one do that, so I only own one, but you can buy replacement pieces for it. It also comes with a foam mat. This foam mat is good to use also when you're using photopolymer stamps instead of a piercing mat. Works great, works the same way. And of course the grid on here, you can buy grid paper that is the same size. This mat is recommended when you're using photopolymer stamps, and if you're using red rubber cling stamps, then you just use it without the mat. But we're using photopolymer, and I'm going to need my magnet, and we are going to grab a piece of Whisper White cardstock. And I honestly am going to, because I know that the stamp is 6 inches, I'm actually going to cut a piece of paper that is 6 inches because I don't want to get ink on my mat because the stamp is so long. So let's start out with a piece of Whisper White cardstock cut at 4 by 6. And then we can trim it down as needed, okay? So 4 by 6, because I know that stamp is 6 inches. Grab my magnet. That is very magnetic. Set that there, and I'm going to use the stars, right? Is that what I said? All right, stars. This would be great to do with embossing, like doing Versamark. Maybe I should do that. And then we can heat emboss, but I threw all my heat emboss powder out, so I guess I can't do that. All right, first I lay down the star swoosh image on my cardstock where I want it to stamp, and then I'll put my kind of like your little stamp door on there. That will lift that up because those are super sticky, so just lay that back down. And I'm not really sure what color I want to do these in because the paper is all Christmassy. So maybe if I want to mimic gold, I believe the best color to use to mimic gold is, no, silver. I don't want to do that. Let's go with, what's a bright, oh, help me here. Help me. Well, we have stars. Haha, I just had an idea. I hate it when that happens. I'm going to stamp these in blue, in Night of Navy. Actually, I don't hate it when that happens. But I do know that I'm going to move this now, because I just changed my mind on how I'm doing my card. Because I just got inspired by the Cherry Cobbler Star Designer Series paper. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to come in here and put that, because I want my stars in the center. Peel that off again. Set this down. Oh, my mind is racing with 5 different ideas, but we're going to stick with one. We're going to stamp this in Night of Navy. The best part about your Stamparatus is if your image doesn't come out good, you can re-ink the image because nothing's going to move on you. You know that your paper is flush against the edges. So if the image doesn't come out stamped good, like right there, you can re-ink this. Actually, let me just see if I can place that back down. I think it's because my paper's so close to the edge. But that's what I mean. You can come back in and just put more ink on it or re-stamp it and it lines up perfectly. That's the best part about a Stamparatus. Not to mention if you're making multiple of the same card, you are able to just keep going. Just keep going. Keep stamping, keep going. So you can make multiple cards in, or stamp multiple layers, you know, consecutively all at once, in a sense, really quick, especially if you're like doing your Christmas cards that way. All right. I should have stamped what I thought in advance, but I'm going to come in here with my chamois. I'm going to clean that off. I'm going to make sure all that ink is off there because you don't want to cross-contaminate your inks. And we're going to do the hinge technique, but we're going to come in with a different color. I'm going to use Cherry Cobbler. And if you have that moment where you get ink on your mat, which I don't think you can see very well because I'm not really in the picture, just come in with a tissue and wipe that ink off. And I'm sorry you're not seeing everything I'm doing over here. My camera is only, can only go so far, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So the hinge technique, just drop that down one spot. You can lift that right off there and drop that down. I need to move this ink before I have it in my elbow, or my elbow in it. Okay, now with that, I've moved the magnet out of the way. I've moved this down one spot, and I'm going to stamp this again. And just like this, I am taking this product suite and I am making a patriotic card. So this is so versatile. Look at that. Ah, I love it. Okay, a little overzealous, right? So I could flip it and it could be red, white, and blue. All right, and I got my nail in there. Got ink all over me from my chamois. Probably it's all over my face now. Now that this is all set, I want to grab my chamois and clean that off. I know I'm probably really taking up a lot of time with these projects, but this is going to be so helpful when you get these products so that you actually know what you're working with. Makes it so much easier when someone demonstrates something that might be a little less, I don't want to say, a little more in depth of using. We'll say that. Okay. All right. So when you use your simple chamois or your Stampin' Chamois, you'll get a little ink on yourself. Wet wipes will get that off because it's water-based ink. So, all right. I'm just going to pull this off and set it aside for now because I'm not sure if I'm going to need that stamp again. And it's already positioned for me, so yay, right? All right, now, do I want to come in and cut this? And I certainly can, right? And this is the edge, this is the cut edge, and I can line that up perfectly with these pieces, okay? I'm so excited about this already. Oh, I'm like so in love. I honestly was struggling the other day using this product suite. I literally was like, not in tears, but I'm like, I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. And I don't know how to get myself excited. So, but I think I have discovered that I love it. Okay, I think there's a piece of paper in there. Grab my Take Your Pick tool to get it out. You guys are so patient with me with this, and you know, I'm glad that you're sticking around and that hopefully you are enjoying it and decide that you need to have this because of the versatility. If you haven't already purchased it, that is. If you're a demonstrator, you have access to it early. If you are not a demonstrator, it's available November 3rd. All right, so I can cut that, and there's that. And I know that just trying to tap some of those pieces out of there. Now you're gonna see, this is where I got frustrated. I'm gonna pass this back through here. Now maybe I wanted these little dots to show at the top. Well, if I did that, then the curve would not, I would have to curve it a different way. It wouldn't work. The curve would be off, and I don't want to do that. So I'm not able to do that with this, but I still want the top to be curved. So even though these dots won't show because this is the cut edge, I can still come in here and line this up and cut a curve as I did with the bottom piece. I need to get this to lay right on my magnetic platform. And I want it maybe line up for me. Oh, I think it will. I'm not worried about the dots. I'm worried about the line above, because I already know the dots are not going to show on this top portion. And I'll explain that. You'll see it when I cut it. So line that up. I love that you can stamp and then do your cutting to make sure the curves are right. How awesome is that piece right there? Isn't that beautiful? It almost looks like a flag. You could cut it and it could be a flag. Oh my goodness. I get so excited. That is what excites me. And I just dropped my die on the floor, but we're not going to use it again, so I'll leave it there. But that is what excites me, is when something comes together like that. I'm going to stand up for a few minutes. So I want to come in because I have some little blotch marks on here from my die machine, from the mat. I got 8 little adhesive spots. So look at that. You can create that into a flag. I'm so in love right now. All right, I'm going to set this aside. So how do I want to tie this in with my designer series paper? Well, I know that there's cherry cobbler that has stars on it. And look how amazing that would be. I can adhere this to the center of the cherry cobbler piece. I can even come in and do some of that, I can do another layer of that cutting, or I can just add this. All right, let's cut this down to the size I want it. First of all, I'm going to do this in a piece that is, I am so in love with this right now. Did I say that yet? I have all these dots. Make sure when you're die cutting that you're not placing stuff under. Like, you make sure all your die cutting machine is clean, your little mat, because this will leave an embossed look and you don't want to do that, but that's okay. We'll work it through. All right, let's cut some paper. Let's cut some paper and get our head wrapped around this project. All right. So I know I want the cherry cobbler stars. So I'm actually just going to cut this down to 4 by I think I want to come in with just some gold in there. All right, so I'm going to cut this down to 4 by 3.5. Okay. Then I want a gold strip that actually may already be curved, and I know I had some of those. See if the curves line up. Otherwise, I'm just going to come in and I'm going to cut that piece. Let me just see what this looks like first. Yeah, let's grab our die cutting machine again. Add a smaller piece here. And clean off your mat, or just use a different one. All right. Grab your die, make sure it's clean. Grab your die brush, clean that off. I'm over here just cleaning my die out. All right, and I want this to follow the same curve. The red goes at the top, then the blue, and I want the dots to cut. So I want to make sure that my edge is at the bottom, the cutting edge. Hi, Cat. And just go ahead and grab your top plate. Make sure that edge is lined up. Feed this through. You guys are so sweet to me. Now, you know when you have your mats for your machine, I'm okay with this. There is some kind of embossed because of my mats on my machine. My plates for my machine are all chewed up. When you're using foil or anything like that, like vellum, you're going to get those impressions. But because I'm going to come in here and I'm going to tape this underneath, it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter what is showing underneath there. All right. So the first thing I want to do, I want to adhere this where the curve is because I know I want my curves to line up. This little thing out of the way. And go ahead and add adhesive to your top layer. And we know we're going to cut that down to 4 inches because that's what our mat was, I think. And that will get layered like so. Okay, so now you have that beautiful edge there. Come in with your paper trimmer. And because I already know I cut that paper down to 4 inches, I'm just going to cut this one down to 4 inches. And that moved a little bit, so it might be a little crooked. And I should have just used my other trimmer that nobody can get their hands on because they don't sell them. And it's also very hard with a curved edge to get a straight, you know, because this is curved up here. All right, so now I know I have that. I'm going to add this here. All right, what color card base? Well, let's just go with Whisper White because I still have to do some stamping. So we will use a 4 1/4 by 11 inch card base, and this is thick Whisper White, which I prefer to use as my card base when I'm using Whisper White. I want to add this. It actually would be cute with a piece of gold foil under here because you're adding that foil there, but I'm just going to keep building the way that I have it. No sense to get too complicated, right? I mean, you can keep adding layers till the cows come home. It all depends on how you like to stamp and create. So we have our cherry cobbler, and again, that piece of cherry cobbler was 3 1/2 by 4. That just goes to the top portion of your card. And how amazing would this be to add a piece of gold right there? Nah, I might incorporate it up at the top. All right, so just add this piece. And I do still need to stamp, and you have to be forgiving of yourself when you're stamping. You guys all. Kat, how are you? Miss you guys. Miss seeing everybody, all our hardcore stampers. I'm hoping you are well and that your family is well. All right. There's some smudge marks from my hands, which I can go through and fix. All right, so we got that. Now, what stamp? Now, yes, I used the stars from the Christmas set, which is fine, but maybe I want to use a sentiment from the Quite Curvy. Like, thinking of you makes my day, wishing you the happiest of birthdays, hooray for you. Let's see what's going to fit there. Hooray for you has got that kind of curve going on. I think that would be appropriate. Let's just do that. Now, what color? Now, this is small enough to fit on my block, and this is a size H block, and it follows that curve, just like that. This would be fantastic if I heat embossed in gold. And again, what am I going to put down here? I still can stamp there. I could stamp here. I don't know. Friends, I am going crazy with this layout. All right, what do we got going on? I think, what color? I just don't know if I want to go here. I think I'm going to go here because I think I'm going to add some stuff up here. All right, I'm going to do, since I have blue here, cherry cobbler, I'm going to do some more Night of Navy. Or should I do cherry cobbler? No, I don't know. vote cherry cobbler or or both. We're going to do some masking. Nah, we're going to do it all in cherry cobbler. I'm not even going to go there. And I'm going to stamp this sort of to follow that same. Please work. Oh, love it. How awesome is that? But we're not done. Now I know we have embellishments that are copper stars, but I used gold. And that is okay that I used gold. I really hope that comes off. Yes, it's just adhesive. Okay, so I used gold. I have, yeah, I know, navy. I didn't even give you guys a chance. You all said Night of Navy, and I just went crazy and used cherry cobbler. I'm sorry. You guys are wonderful. How about I'm looking for something. Let's see. I don't think I have, oh, there are. I got y'all. We got little star stamps in this kit. I was going to die cut some stars, but why when I can stamp them in Night of Navy so that I satisfy the Night of Navy votes. Oh, I love this. Let's just test one out. Oh yeah. We're going to come in here and add some Night of Navy stars. And you can follow that curve all the way with your stars. And I am so excited about this card I could cry. I am so in love with this card. Yay! It's awesome when things come together. So, I want to add a few rhinestones of some sort. I think there's some, either that specific point or Night of Navy, but we're going to get into some, we're going to accent this with some gold glitter enamel dots. Just to add the right amount of added bling. So, and we got these tiny ones, so I bet, saw what I just did. Make sure I had enough of these. Oh my gosh, I hope you guys are loving this right now as much as I am. Oh, yay! I don't even want to put anything else there. Maybe tie a ribbon up here. It's getting to be too much. Am I adding too much stuff, or are you loving it? Let's just come in and do some gold cord tying of some. I tie this off, and we will be good to go. I have to announce my winner of Prize Patrol from last week. So bear with me, because that person gets to join in on the class that we're having, the October class, next weekend. Those of you that are part of that class, the tutorial will be uploaded the evening of the event, because I want you to craft with me. I don't want to craft by myself. I'm going to tie this in a knot first. So that's the goal. Plus there's some tips and tricks that may not be full instruction on the sheet. So, I mean, the full instructions will be there, but there might be some added tricks I share with you. So there's that. We can cut this down a little bit, get it, adjust it to where you want it. Come in with your scissors and trim that. And my friends, we just made a very adorable patriotic card with this Christmas stamp set. So there's the versatility. Here's the other card we made, which was Christmas. I didn't even use the birds today, my apologies. But these are the cards that I shared with you earlier that I did. And if you were not in love with this stamp set and bundle, I hope that you are now, and that you may want to get your hands on it, because I can't even tell you how super excited I am that I made this card. Can you imagine doing Christmas cards with this technique and sending them to the troops? I think that's on my list to do now. So, okay, thank you all for being here. The winner last week's Sunday Live with MJ, Jenny Watson. Jenny Watson, you are our guest for our class, and I am awaiting. Oh, some of you already got your kit, but that was the little gift from me for the October class. Jenny Tyler, you are our guest for the class. I keep saying Tyler. Sorry, that's your maiden name. Jenny Watson, you won Prize Patrol. You will be able to join us October 31st from 1 until we are done crafting. I have designated till 6 o'clock, but it is Halloween, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to, but you'll be invited and you'll be able to join the Facebook group. Compliments of winning the Prize Patrol for this week. So yay, congratulations. 10 kits here, a gift, Christmas gift, as well as the Memory and More card pack, which would be here midweek. So I will deliver this to you once I receive that product in the mail. So I'm so excited. Thank you all for being a part of my creative process. And Karen, I hope this helped you out a little bit with my thought process of where I get inspiration. Sometimes it's simply a stamp that inspires me. So I'm super excited. Thank you all so much for being here and being a part of my creative day. And blessings to you all. And I will see you again next week. Prize Patrol for next week, I will have a paper share of the paper I used today. I'll give you a sheet of each that is in the Designer Series paper. How's that? Sounds good. All right. Blessings. See y'all soon.